How's it going, guys? Sports Snippets, Dennis Sullivan here for my attempt at a fantasy baseball video number 2 in my lifetime. My first fantasy baseball video a couple weeks back. We're going to talk about it again because I picked up on a few other things in my own day-to-day interest and research that I just want to share with you. And of course, if you do like the content, this particular video, go ahead, hit that thumbs up. That would be awesome. Subscribe to my channel, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. Hit that notification bell also for future videos. Now that we got that out of the way, I picked up on some things. Not going to go too heavily in depth, just to go over, and I'm really just going to focus on offensive players. Not going to get into pitching with this video. Probably come back in the next few days. We could talk a little bit more about that. I did pick up, now if you watched the first video I did, Fantasy Baseball Sleepers, back in, I'm going to say, the end part of April, I expressed how I felt, my interest in the productivity level, potential productivity level of CJ Cron hitting in the middle of that Colorado Rocky lineup, which I still am a big fan of, and I still am going to be following very closely, by the way. The only problem is he is now on the 10-day injured list, back-related issues, so he will be out of the Colorado Rocky lineup as I make this video. I'm guessing here for a good, at least another week from what I've read so far. So we're only on like maybe day 3 of the 10-day injured list, and let's see, hopefully it'll just be very short term. Now, with this situation, and the Rockies have had a couple of injuries, I've noticed. They've had a little bit of bad luck, as many teams have had, to start off the 2021 season. They would bring up a guy who is very interesting. Now, this is whether you're in head-to-head leagues or if you like the daily contests, you should be able to get this guy at a very low price. Connor Joe. They bring up Connor Joe from the minor leagues, and at least over the last few days, guys, he is batting 6th in the Colorado Rocky lineup. As I make this video, they are playing in the second game of a doubleheader. It's very late on the 12th of May. He's somewhere in the neighborhood, since being called up, he's somewhere in the neighborhood of 4 out of 12 at the plate total since he's been called up, with 6 walks. That's a lot of walks. He's getting on base, and he's hitting in a decent spot in that lineup, number 6. Give him a look. Give him a look. I mean, a lot of this is going to have to depend upon, of course, goes without saying, who's coming back, what's Cron's status, how will this affect Connor Joe moving forward. Maybe the Rockies stay with him a little longer. So obviously that's going to play a lot into the long term is completely up in the air. But for short term, whether you're looking to get a guy off waivers in a head-to-head league, or you know what, you're in a daily contest, you want all-star, you don't have much left as far as getting guys, you should definitely be able to get Connor Joe at a good price right now. So please keep that in mind. This caught my attention. And he does seem to be producing, guys. Does seem to be producing. Another guy I noticed, proven hitter, veteran, definitely flying under the radar now. Although he's starting to come around, so he won't be flying under the radar for much longer. Brandon Belt, San Francisco Giants. It seems like, now he spent his entire career on the Giants, his 11th year in the major leagues. 33 years old. I'm thinking this guy's like 38. If you were to ask me before this video, I'm going to tell you, oh, he's probably been in the majors for like, it seems like he's been in the majors for like 17 years. Maybe that's just me. But he was at, now for the season, he's only at 232. He was around 216, 217 a few short days ago, batting average. Here's the thing, guys. The Giants, continue to bat him cleanup. He is the cleanup hitter since May 8th. So he went 4 straight starts hitting cleanup for the Giants, who obviously believe in him, and with good reason. Still a very good player. hitting cleanup for the Giants. This is a good value. He's only rostered in roughly 44-45% of the active rosters in the league that I'm in. So, I mean, guys, Brandon Belt, he's not going to be the National League MVP, but still, he's a proven hitter. I was shocked to find out that he's only a career 262 hitter. I would have guessed at least in the 280s. But he has driven in over 80 runs before. You can drive in runs, especially if he's hitting cleanup. You should get a good deal for Brandon Belt. If you're in head-to-head, he might even be on your waivers. You should get a good price for him in head-to-head. Guys, Brandon Belt, I like it. I like what I'm seeing. Now, he is day-to-day, by the way. While we're getting excited about him, he had a mild left side tightness, it appears. So keep your eyes and ears open on what that's all about. Not sure if he's going to be missing any extended time or what's going on there. The current status that I am showing, as you see me looking down, that's what I'm checking on here. he is day-to-day. So he is day-to-day. So keep your tabs on Brandon Belt, guys. Absolutely. Highly recommended. Now, other players. Now, you ever notice if you go into and you want to check on who's trending and things like that, a big thing that I'm noticing here, guys, is a big cause for trend, which is valid, are players, when it comes to offensive players, because we're not really going into pitching in this video, is who has been moved into the leadoff spot, meaning whenever you see a guy, or if he's moved up in the lineup, but particularly at leadoff, because of course you're going to get the run scored. You're going to probably have a chance at getting, a little bit more hits, walks, assuming that's a category. If you're in head-to-head, that should definitely be a category. So obviously, you want to have a certain number anyway of leadoff hitters are very, very appetizing, shall we say, or very appealing to a fantasy baseball owner of a team, or if you like the daily contest. Now, Robbie Grossman is of interest. He's only rostered roughly in 20-25% of a lot of leagues, depending on which application you use. Robbie Grossman is currently hitting leadoff for the Detroit Tigers, and he's hitting too. He was 1 for 4 on the 12th, but on the 11th he went 2 for 5. The 9th they were postponed. On the 8th he was 3 for 3. So he is hot, guys. He is, out of his last 12, he is 6 out of his last 12. And it looks like one of those hits, yes it was a home run. So Robbie Grossman, and he's only hitting 233 on the season, so he's definitely heating up, clearly heating up his last few games. Not to mention, he has 7 net stolen bases already. So Robbie Grossman, flying under the radar, guys, under the radar. Another player, and we'll wrap up with this for now. I think talking about 4 guys is sufficient for now, Nick Senzel. Nick Senzel is also leading off, while we're on the topic of leading off, and he seems like for at least the last 6 games for the Cincinnati Reds, he's also been hitting. Now, he went 0 for 5 on today's game against Pittsburgh. They won that game. He would go 0 for 5, scored a run. He scored a run in 5 straight games, but before going 0 for 5, he's 3 for 4, 2 for 5, and then 1 for 4, 1 for 4. So he was 5 out of 9, plus he over. In his last 3 games, he's still 5 out of 14, guys. He's hitting well over 300 still in his last 3 games anyway. For the season, Senzel is coming in at 277. Not too bad. Not too bad. He's hitting 277. He's got a home run also. He has scored 16 runs for the Cincinnati Reds already. That's pretty good. So just want to throw a few names at you guys. I'm looking at this stuff myself because I love playing fantasy baseball. It's a lot of fun. I want to get in depth a little bit more on some pitching maybe over this weekend. Talk about that. Let me know who else you like. I mean, are there any other players out there that you really have your eyes on as far as watching? and their production. But I like Cron, who should be back soon. Belt is always a guy you want to keep your eyes on. He seems to be a little bit overlooked, obviously. Connor Joe's kind of a long shot, but for temporary spot, you need a guy to... And here's one thing I did not mention. I believe the Rockies should be playing at home for at least the next few games, because they were on the road for a while there. So they got to have a fair amount of home games here coming up. So I liked that factor too. And I always like the Rockies when they're playing at home. And then you got Grossman and Senzel. Goodrum is also, I'll throw one last name at you, Nico Goodrum from the Tigers is now moved up, it looks like, to 5th in the batting order, at least today. He was hitting 6th-ish, 6th, 7th, and then he was hitting 5th before. So they seem to bat him between 5th and 7th. But Nico Goodrum has 4 home runs this season, hitting .245, and he's driven in 10 runs. But he is trending. He is trending. So a lot of he plays a lot of positions. Wow, he plays almost everywhere, guys. He plays almost everywhere. Nico Goodrum. So he's another guy that seems to be getting a lot of looks from fantasy baseball enthusiasts. So let me know what you think. Go ahead, hit that like button. That would be cool. Want to talk a little bit more about fantasy sports in the weeks to come. It's big interest, as I mentioned. So let me know how your team's doing. Let me know what you're doing here, fantasy baseball-wise. And we will talk again soon. I'll see you soon. Over and out for now.